Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to show you my favorite drill to shallow your downswing. All right guys, so let's go over my favorite drill to shallow your downswing. Now, if you've seen our latest video on 3 different ways to shallow your downswing, this was one of them within those 3, but the freaking drill is so good that we wanted to make sure we did a separate video. Not everyone's gonna see that other one, and this is really the one out of those 3 that I want you guys to emphasize and practice. It's the one where if you set it up properly, it has to work, okay? This is one I did myself when I first saw that my swing was over the top and steep. This is something that worked really good for me. I had it set up at home in my garage. I do my 100 swings a day and it really helped shallow my downswing. And I've used it with a lot of other people before. It works really, really good. So I want to show you guys this one for you that haven't seen it. And for you guys that have, I want to reiterate the importance of it and show you how to use it and sort of best practices with it. I'm going to take my setup position and I'll show you guys how this whole deal works here. So if I took my normal setup position, I've got an 8-iron here. You guys can use whatever club in the beginning just to start. I have the stick in the ground here, and simultaneously it's going to do 2 things. Number 1, I'm going to put it in a position, and I'll show you how to set it up. I put it in a position where during my downswing, if you're someone who comes too far over the top, you're going to run into the stick. The way that it's set up, the only way for you to miss the stick is if that club head's approaching the ball from the inside. You can't mess this one up if it's set up properly. Works great. Now the second part is for the width, okay, and the angle of attack. I've also got it set up in a position where it doesn't allow me to come into the ball very vertically, right? And we talked a little bit in the other video about there's a difference between angle of attack, sort of the circle you have, and the swing direction. All the other drills we talk about for shallowing out your downswing, and this is part of it, is for swing direction. So you swing more from the inside, more to the right, but also the angle of attack and widening out the bottom of your arc, not coming in so super narrow, is also a common fundamental of really good ball striking. This is a 2-for-1. It does both of them, okay? If you're in that pattern of people and you could do one drill, I would set this up and bang this thing. Now, here's how we have it set up. And I also did it in a video that we did with a lesson with Nick, so you can see some of how we worked that. I have it set up here where I just put the stick in the ground. Okay, that's one option, and you can also put it through a bucket. I also have another version where you can put it through a bucket, which I'll show you how to set this up here as we go. So in the version where you put the stick in the ground, I'm going to show you how to set that one up here now, and then I'll demonstrate. So the first part is how far back this way does it go. Now what I would do is I take my club, I have my 8-iron, and I set it up roughly 2 grip lengths behind the golf ball. So here's my golf ball, here's the stick. 1 grip here, 2 grips here. So it's about 2 grip lengths behind the golf ball. And I have it set up about 1.5 grips in the air. So if you can see from there, there's 1 grip. It's maybe a grip and maybe 3 or 4 fingers in the air is how high it is at the point that's even with the golf ball. Those are the 2 pieces from face on that are relevant. 2 grip lengths back, about 1 grip and 3 or 4 fingers, 1.5 grips in terms of height of it. Now I'm going to demonstrate so you can see what this looks like here and put on my new glove and hit, and then we'll show you from the other side what it looks like, how to set it up, and the things you're going to look for here. Now, feel-wise for me, when I work in here and I have the station in, I feel distinctly, and I want you to feel club head and shaft here, not so much body motions. I feel like the club head is working on a wider circle, so my arms and hands are staying away from my body. I'm not getting real narrow here like this. I really feel the club head working low to the ground here. And I also have a sense that the club head's more inside my hands than normal, you'll see from down the line. Now I have an 8-iron. If you're over the top and steep and you actually set this up right, this is gonna be in your way in a big, big, big way. So you're probably going dry here, no golf balls in the beginning, right? You're sand wedge, you're swinging, you're putting maybe like a foam ball here at most, and you're doing little half swings, like hip high in the beginning. If I'm over the top and I have this set up, I'm hitting a ball like this first. Okay, so I chipped an 8-iron there, maybe 50, 60 yards. And that's gonna be difficult for you. You're not going, like sometimes these drills, I go 8-iron full swing right away because I do this for a living. If you're over the top, and sometimes I mess them up even though I do it for a living. If you're over the top, you're doing like short and slow and maybe without a ball for a while, and then a foam and wiffle ball in the beginning, and again like this, super short and slow. feeling the club head, wider circle, working more from inside. Look how low my club head is to the ground here. Now, inevitably, some people are going to say, well, good players don't look like that. They look like their club's up here and it comes down. Yes, of course they do. But if you're too steep like this, you need to feel like the club head's really low to the ground early as you turn and learn how to hit solid from there. Equal and opposite exaggerations. So here's my 8-iron again. If you're this guy or gal, you're doing hip high, super, super short and slow. Little half swings, that's an 8-iron that's going maybe 100 yards at most, 50, 60 yards, and you're doing with a short club, gradually working your way up into 1/2 and 3/4 swings. That's the face-on position. We'll do some longer ones as we go. Let me show you what it looks like from down the line. Okay, so from the down the line perspective, we already know from the other side that it's 2 grip lengths behind me. We already know that the height of it is about a grip and a half at most, maybe a grip and a couple fingers there. And now from the down the line perspective, I also want you to get an idea of what it looks like from here in terms of when I'm setting up. The edge of the stick, where it is in space, meaning how far do you put the stick this way or how far back, it's about halfway between the golf ball and my foot. If I were to kind of put here, here's where the golf ball sits in space. Here's where my foot is, okay? The stick sits about right here. So it's about equal distance between my ball target line and my foot. So it's a good reference point in terms of how far in it goes. When I put my club here, the angle that it would go on, I put my club about the same angle as I would if I sort of sit on its neutral normal lie angle. You'll see that that's just above the angle of my club. I typically give myself maybe 2-3 fingers there at most in terms of the angle of it. The whole point of this is, so during your downswing, you would get the club head being on or just slightly inside your hands from our down the line point. If you were to make a swing where you get over the top here, I mean, you're gonna crush that stick. So maybe put like a noodle or something on there. Use a club you don't love. And also again here, you're trying to feel like the club head's working lower to the ground as you work in. One more time, if you're someone whose downswing looks like this, you are not setting this up, putting your golf ball in and swing 100% speed right away. Absolutely not. You're probably swinging at a tee. I'm putting a tee in the ground and I'm gonna clip the tee with a swing that's literally this big. Like I'm going here first, right, as I'm working this in. Super short and slow, just feeling the club head. I'm not worried, what are my hands doing? What am I don't care about what your hands and body are doing. I want you to just feel how the club head works in space. See the club head working inside, but what happens if my club head gets too far inside? I don't care if your club head gets too far inside back here, so long as it stays under. Your only intention and priority is missing this during the downswing. And that's it. I don't care. It doesn't matter how you do it. Doesn't matter your backswing stuff. Just get this clipping under here and gradually get it swinging longer and then start to put like a wiffle ball or foam ball in. Hit a couple. This is what I did when I did it, right? And then put a golf ball in. And once you're ready for the golf ball, you're going to hit some little half ones. Again, I got an 8-iron here. I'm probably going to clip a couple out there, maybe just like 100 yards at most, just a little chippers to feel the club head working underneath. And that feels really nice and shallow. I'd probably hit that about 100 yards. And dude, this might be my whole, like I might hit balls like that for like a week before I'm going into 1/2, 3/4 full swings. If it feels that exaggerated, that club for you is going to feel like it's coming from like back here, way back here. It's going to feel really, really, really super low to the ground. And you're just doing little half ones. Okay, everyone's in a rush to do a full swing. Anything you ever learned didn't learn like that overnight. And there's a little thin one, that's good. That's the point of this. It's supposed to be overly shallow. You don't need to hit these perfect. I want you clipping these off the tee, shallowing these downswing pieces. So I'll do one more, just kind of like a little chip, 100 yard deal there. And just to kind of get some balls going out. And then once you feel comfortable with that, then I can take that and start putting that into a full swing. And go as slow and as short as you need to in the beginning. And then once you get comfortable with it, then you could start to make some more full swings here. And that one felt really good. That was nice and shallow on the inside, as you can see. Listen, the point being, go super, super slow. Go shorter and slower than you think. This is how the practice station gets set up. I also said you can do it a different way in that Nick video. If you guys look at the 3 ways to shallow your downswing, you could also put this through an object so it just sits in the same position instead of it being on an angle. right? Instead of it being in the ground like this, you could just put a bucket here and just put it through the ground like this. So long as it's the same height off the ground, a little bit higher than the grip, and so long as this still come and finishes at the same spot, then it doesn't matter whether you use this. You could use anything. If you have something set up at your house, just put an object on the ground that fits those descriptions. This is the best one I've ever seen. I personally use this. The other ones are really good, but this does a 2-for-1. If you're gonna try and change that downswing pattern, please do this one and start short and slow and work your way longer with that. This is the best shallowing your downswing drill I've ever seen. If you guys have a better one, leave me a link in the comment down below or show me where to find it, because this is the best one. It works really, really good. If you guys have any questions, as always, leave me a comment down below. All right, guys, thanks for watching the video. If you guys like this, please do me a favor and click the like button down below. Click the notification bell if you haven't already, and please subscribe if you haven't. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any comments, leave them down below.